Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a document from WinVest's Accession Corp. Get ready because it involves extensions, amendments, and let's just say a little bit of financial tap dancing. It's going to be interesting. We're looking at a filing made to the SEC. It's called an 8K. Companies use this form to report major events that shareholders should know about. In WinVest's case, it's about extending deadlines and shuffling money around to keep a deal alive. Buckle up. But before we jump in, if you're interested in getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can discuss all things financial with like-minded individuals, so be sure to check that out. The main story here is that WinVest needed more time to complete a business combination, which is basically them buying another company and merging with it. To get that extra time, they had to make some deals. A material definitive agreement is a fancy way of saying a really important contract. First, WinVest struck a deal with WinVest's SPAC LLC, which is like a backer or supporter, otherwise known as the sponsor. The sponsor agreed to lend the company up to $90,000. This money would go into a trust account that was created for their initial public offering or IPO. An IPO is when a company first offers shares to the public. The shareholders voted to allow WinVest to extend the deadline to complete the merger. Because of this approval, WinVest issued what's called a promissory note to their sponsor. Think of a promissory note like an IOU, a promise to pay back the money. This note is for up to $90,000 and it does not gain interest. It matures, meaning it comes due when the merger happens, or if it never does, when the company liquidates, sells everything for cash. The note will only be repaid using money they have outside of the trust account. To start, $30,000 was put into the trust so that the company could push the deadline to July of 2025. Termination date sounds scary, and what it means is the date at which the company has to call it quits. Another $30,000 will be added for each extra month, up to 2 total. This money will eventually go to all the normal stockholders that subscribe to their IPO when the company liquidates, or to any public shareholders who decide to redeem their shares if the deal does eventually happen. Redeem in this case means exchanging shares for their cash value. There was also another vote changing a deal they had to extend the date. Continental Stock Transfer and Trust Company had to liquidate the trust account. They pushed it from June to July of 2025. The idea is that they can extend the liquidation of funds date up to 2 times without another vote making monthly payments. There was also a change to the trust agreement that said if WinVest doesn't make it, up to $100,000 earned on the trust account may be put towards covering the cost to liquidate and dissolve the company. All this comes down to WinVest being able to push their deadline as much as 3 months to September if their plan doesn't work to complete the merger. The number of stakeholders at the vote was about 91%, which makes for a solid quorum, meaning that they have enough voting power to make decisions. All 3 proposals were approved. 527 public shares got redeemed for about $13 a share. After the redemptions, there was around $3.3 million left in trust, with around 250,000 public shares outstanding. WinVest issued a press release with Exhibit 99.1, announcing that the extension and trust amendments as well as the note issuance had been approved. Nothing here should be filed per the Securities Exchange Act of 1934. Now, putting these pieces together, WinVest is in a race against time. They're using loans from their sponsor and amendments to their trust agreements to buy themselves more runway to find a suitable merger partner. The relatively small number of shares being redeemed suggests that at least a decent amount of investors are on board with the extended timeline, but the clock is definitely ticking. Also, it is not a good sign at all that they are having to resort to emergency extensions to their agreements. Alright, that's our breakdown of WinVest's latest filing. What's your take on these maneuvers and what they signal for the company's future prospects? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.